Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound, and while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to be very clear with this practice. So, when it comes to Buddhism, the very core essence of the Buddha's teaching, finding the freedom. Another way we call it liberation or the Nibbana. So what is this freedom? The freedom from suffering. So as you know, in very conventional level, just imagine how many times in day-to-day life we suffer. So just imagine if you can have a one day without that suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering, conventional level. And other thing is anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, unsatisfactory nature. Always our life in a struggle. Just imagine for one day, if you can experience your life without this all, like no suffering, no anger, no hatred, no fear, no jealousy. So then how beautiful it is. So then when it comes to that, sometimes people can say it's a kind of like a dogma. It's kind of like a believing. It's not a kind of like a something not going to happen in your life. No, there is a way. So then we have to look how this all happens, why this all happens. So when it comes to that, most of time we have misunderstanding about this freedom. So what is that misunderstanding? First, we have to be very clear with that. So when it comes to suffering, anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, unsatisfactory nature, we always focus to outside world. It's a kind of like an object point of view we deal with these situations. We think it's because of something. And most of the time when we look at the freedom, the very meaning, we use it to protect us from that outside objects. You have no rights to hurt me. You have no rights to disturb me. You have no rights to hate me. You have no rights to have jealousy about me. You have no rights to have anger about it. So like that, most of the time we build up boundaries, layers by layers, layers by layers, barriers by barriers towards the outside world, and we build up our place more protected. So then it's kind of like a become bunker. It's kind of like a become a cell. It become kind of like a prison to ourselves. Why? Because we are the one who build up many, many barriers from us towards the world, and thinking we're going to get freedom. But in the Buddha's teaching, it's totally different way of analyzing about this freedom. It is nothing to do with, of course, there are situations come with the outside, but the main important part, we lose our freedom from within ourselves, from our inner deeper behavior, from our conscious behavior or conscious habits. So then, rather than look towards outside world, if you are capable to go into deeper yourself and open all the barriers that you already build up inside you, then you gain the freedom. So it's a totally different way of understanding sometimes. So then how you can do this? So there are two things, two behaviors we have. So one is that our mind always leaning with what next. We always go with the what next. Because of that, we have no ability to go into it inside, because we always, with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, consciousness, we always wandering to outside world. And at the same time, it developed a kind of like a desire to bring something from outside to inside, outside to inside. So this process, sometimes we look kind of like we maintain as our life. So if you look very carefully, most of the time we have a kind of like a object of wanting mind. Mind always look something and you live with some kind of openness to catch something. So that also kind of like something you want, you open to catch something. So object of wanting, you have to transform to object of mindfulness. So rather than you open to get something, receive something, you develop the mind to observe something. So whatever come to you, you observe it rather than receiving it. So this is a very deeply, you have to consciously to balance inside you. Because if you don't have that balance, you lose your freedom by the time. Look that whatever that keep coming to you from outside world. It doesn't matter whatever. It always going to leave you some kind of disappointment, unsatisfaction, fear, anxiety, depression. Look around you. So then, if you are capable to open to observe, that means open to mindful, rather than opening to wanting, then what you see? You start to see, rather than grasping, clinging, holding, you start to see the change. So, seeing the change is the very entrance to the wisdom. If you don't see the change, you're always going to misunderstand. Why? Because fundamentally, as life, what we experience is change. So then, any moment you can't hold, or anything you can't keep as it is, breath by breath, step by step, the journey that you keep going forward happen because of the change. And if you observe little bit, one step or one breath or one moment, you always going to see deeply. Even that one step, you can't take it as a permanent, concrete, unchangeable structure. Even one breath. That's fundamentally, in the very bottom of our life. Ultimately, the breath is like the foundation. So then when it comes to one breath, there's no such a thing called one breath, because it has a beginning, the middle, and the entire process. So if you observe this, it's giving you some kind of understanding about the change. And if you look very carefully your own life, so far in this journey, how many good times that you went through? Of course, it was so good. Happy moment. How many happy moments you went through? How much the joy you had in your life? There are many times. And at the same time, sad moments, worry, disappointed, unhappy moments. 100,000. But one thing is that anything, whatever happy or sad things happen to you, in this very moment, if you look very carefully, where are that all moments? That all gone. That all gone. So then, if you build up the structure regarding your own life, oh, I am like this. This is my life. You have to build that structure with the details of change. There is no self-identity you can build without unchangeable, or without changeable informations. Everything change. You can try it as an experiment. Look, is there any unchangeable information that you can bring it to yourself and introduce yourself, what will happen? You will never find something. So then as your life, you represent the change. So that is the very beginning of freedom, and that is the beginning of wisdom. So wisdom is the path that take you to freedom. Remember that. So we try to find the freedom through having things, but it's not going to end. Oh, there is always something. Remember that. Maybe today we have difficulties with paying bills, and sometimes our accommodations, and sometimes our health insurance and kind of problems, our transportations, and our many problems we have. So we think, oh, I want to be free, and then maybe you gain more and more and more. But once you have more and more and more, you're going to have more and more and more difficulties. So that doesn't mean you should reject this outside world. No, you have to recognize this inner behavior. Why? Because if you don't recognize this inner cravingness, this collective nature, by the time mind start to mesmerize from it, and then that mesmerized mind will bring the dark, cloudy mind to you. So once the mind become dark itself from the collective nature, it's very difficult to get out of it. That is the danger with the greed, because it can completely blind you from inside. In that blindness is so strong, rather than this in the universe, somewhere, the far away in this universe, there are many black holes. But that all black holes one day can overtake by some stars, maybe thousand suns around this universe can give the light to other planets. But still, when the mind get dark from greediness, or the anger, or the hatred, or the jealousy, and especially from ignorance, it is very difficult to bring the light or the wisdom to that mind. So then it is your responsibility. If you look for freedom, then the very first level, find the path to be wise. So how you can gain the wisdom? See the change. Of course, conventionally, intellectually, we know about change, a lot of things. We know a lot of details. But knowing things doesn't make any sense end of the day. Look at our own life. How many things we know. And even sometimes in day-to-day life, we know about other people. We know other person get mad. We know this person greedy. And we know this person change. We know this situation going to be like this. But still, we have to go through the struggle or the suffering or the sadness, worry, disappointment, or the unhappiness. So what you know about the person or the situation may be not going to help for you. So you have to understand that. So then where you have to look? So look into deeper to your own mind and start to have a journey go towards you. And when you go towards that, whatever the information you see, and try to recognize the change, impermanence. A little bit enough. For a moment enough. but you have to recognize it very clearly. And no one may be going to see that, no one going to appreciate that, no one going to make any comments about it, but you see that deeper in you how things change. So that is the important part that you gain. Look at in day-to-day life. And we go, you go to movies and you watch movies sometimes. And in that movies, maybe the actor or the actress, come with different name. And then maybe they fight each other, they kill each other, they laugh each other, they party each other. And you look at that, you go to watch the movie and you become so emotionally caught up with that, and you take it, that event kind of like a real when the movie happens. And after that also, sometimes you talk about that movie, this movie, you kind of like that. And the same person in that movie and go to another movie and completely, have a different character. So like that. And end of this all, maybe that person get a award. That person never get a award for his real life. Look at all the awards people gave on the movie industry. All the awards they gave to the character they perform, not to the real person, not to the real character. The real person is completely different person. No one see that person. No anybody know who is inside that person. We all know the actor or the actress through the characters. And we know all the singers through the songs that they sang. But we don't see real person. Who is the real person? And the people, everybody appreciate and everybody cheer, everybody like to the character that they had, not the real person. So the same thing happened to us also. So that's the worldly nature. In that way, you will never find the freedom. It is not, you're not going to find the real freedom or the real wisdom there. The wisdom always comes out of your inner self-realization, understanding. But the thing is, that understanding, you have to go just by yourself. And sometimes it is very lonely journey. It's okay. It's worth for you. Why? Because you hang with the loved ones, the comfortable friends and family members, others, and you become happy with somebody. You always leaning to someone, but most of the time that things end up being unhappy, sad, painful, disappointed, miserable. And look at the world. And most of the time we get hurt not because of unknown people. We always get hurt. We always get mad. We always get disappointed because of the people very close to us. So then, but still, that's the conventional knowledge. We all know that. But still what we do? Tomorrow, you like to have a very, another new friend. You like to know another someone. So nothing wrong with that. That's the conventional life. We always have to have it. But remember, you have to slowly change the object of your focus. Have everything. But the object of focus, where it take you, or towards wanting from outside, it will never going to find some kind of satisfaction. So then have the all outside things, but keep the object of mindfulness. So you be with you around others, you be with others, but you always see the very condition of your own mind. Why? Because if you have unbalanced mind, if you have cloudy mind, if you have dark mind, if you are in the heaven, even you can't see it. Even if you are in front of the angels, you can't see it. Even if you are in the hell, you can't see it. So if you can't see, then what will happen? You can't change it. So that's why it is your own responsibility to go into that deeper. Remember, like a mantra. You know, sometimes people ask, Bhante, is there any mantra? You know, anything can happen anytime. Be a person to handle that. That is the best wisdom that you can have for conventional life. Anything can happen anytime. Be a person can handle that rather than go crazy, rather than disappointed, become unhappy. So in that way, you build up the freedom, you find the freedom, but it always comes out of the wisdom. Wisdom come out of seeing the change. Change you have to experience inside you. To experience it inside, you have to observe it within yourself. To observe it within yourself, you have to spend some time. Look yourself, you always spend the time for whatever you like. Same like you spend the money for whatever the things you like. So then, spend some time with yourself and observe yourself. Recognize yourself, because that recognition, that observation brings some kind of clarity to yourself. That clarity will help you to slowly push away that dark, cloudy thoughts. It will help you to clean this dusty mind. And that is where, little by little, you can gain the light from inside you. When you have that inner light, that inner clarity, that itself going to become your protection. So that is itself your wisdom. So once you have it, you find your freedom. Without that inner wisdom, even somebody gave the freedom to you, you don't know how to handle it. You can't be with it. So that's why, be a person yourself to claim your own freedom. You can do that. That is what the Buddha taught. Yourself, you have to be a person to take fully responsibility regarding your own mind, rather than giving it to something or somebody. When you get mad, sad, disappointed, worry, unhappy, take that responsibility and know yourself. That is who you are. Don't tell that person make me angry. No one can do that. That person make me mad, worried, disappointed. No one can do that. It's you. That all outside things can ignite little by little, little by little, but it is us. So once the day you recognize that, you work for that. If you see you get mad, angry, disappointed, jealousy, and you have fear, when you see those things, you start to work for that. And you don't need a lot of things to do for that all. Only one thing you have to do to get out of this all. What is that thing? Be mindful. Be in the present moment, be mindful. And develop your awareness. Because when your awareness is in the present moment, there cannot be greed, hatred, jealousy, ignorance, unhappiness, sadness, worry, disappointment, or that kind of things. This all going to come because your mind always go with something happen in the past, or you want something from the future. Without adding something from the past, or without bringing something from the future, there is no way your mind going to go to darkness. No way. Even the karma cannot tackle this moment when you have the ability to be in the moment. So that's why you can purify yourself through being in the present moment, developing your awareness. So that is not enough, but that is the beginning point. So from that point, then you have to go into vipassana level without becoming biased to any kind of knowledge, wisdom, tradition, religion, believing system, or following system. From each and every angle, from head to toes, up to bottom, you have to look. When something happens, you have to look. How this happened like this? You have to bring your critical, analytical understanding about your moment of experience. So once you have these both qualities, through the wisdom, you fulfill your journey. That is your freedom, that is your liberation, that is your transformation, that is your nibbana. That is what the real freedom. So you can claim it. In this human history, thousands enlightened masters, your ancestors went through that. So you are also capable to that. So whatever that life you go through, remember, even though you go through that, you no need to be limited to that moment of experience. That is the beauty of change. There is always opportunity for you to find the new path. So merge with that, be with that. In that way, you are not going to become a bias to your own habitual patterns or the methods. And that understanding, step by step, breath by breath, moment by moment, will take you to freedom. So then have that journey. Experience it within yourself. So out of this whole practice, remember, you are the one who need to experience your own inner freedom. You are the one who need to bring it to yourself. That is your responsibility. Rescue your life from this inner pain or this inner unsatisfaction. Rather than keep beating to yourself, by your own dogmas, your own ideas, your own believing, your own following system, harassing yourself, giving pain to yourself, beating yourself. You don't need to do that. Don't make it as your life. And that's why from the beginning you come to very neutral moment. It doesn't matter whatever right or wrong, but in this very moment, you have opportunity to be settled down and just be in the moment without any condition or without any limitation. So claim that freedom and move forward with that freedom. In that way, you will see anywhere you go, any place you sit, and there is a freedom that you can gain. And once you have it, so whatever the other people, that whatever the outside nature, and it's going to be okay with you. Once you become like that person and you are contributing the best to outside, and then it's going to come back to you. So whatever you contribute, it's going to come back to you. That's how it is. You know, it's a very basic principle. You know, when we look at the world, you can see it. It is just not only the mental or kind of like just a monk talk. You know, look at what happened in Russia like few days ago. You know, the President Putin feeding to that monster. You know, the group of mercenaries, and they went and killing people and helping to Russia to get the Ukraine. And then what happened suddenly? He get mad with the Putin and he turned back and told, oh, we are coming to Moscow and get you. The same, you know, they are the one who fund and they are the one who gave everything. But finally what happened? It turned back again. They got afraid. They closed down everything. You know? And they closed down all the bridges and no one can enter to Moscow. You know, it happened a few days ago. See, that's how it is. That's why the same thing happened to us. But when you develop the freedom in you, and when you contribute it to others, and it come back to you. And at the same time, what you develop in you, hatred, jealousy, anger, and when you contribute to others, it's going to come back to you. So that personally, socially, in the worldly level, we see the same Dharma. So that's why this is the same principle. It happened yesterday, it happened today, it's going to happen tomorrow. Why? Because that is the worldly nature. So only thing is, during our time, ourselves, we have to be careful not to contribute to the darkness, but somehow get the light and be with the light and go with the light. So once it becomes your choice, you get into the path of the Nibbana. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. And then by the time, observe the change happens moment by moment. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe, and may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. Your backside, your left side, and your right side. Downward, and upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Tavata chammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhamma nudhamma patipattiya buddhang pujemi dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.